All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to thank ByDesign for helping put this together. We're excited to have a chance to present to everyone what we've been working on together with the ByDesign platform. Also wanted to shout out a special thanks to Marion Smith. She's the Director of Sales and Communications from Jordan Essentials, and she's offered to come on and do a live testimonial during this call. So I don't want to take a lot of your time today. I want to take you through and present to you the ZipLingo messaging platform and kind of explain how it's been integrated into ByDesign to really allow you to do everything that you want from a communication standpoint without having to do any exporting out of ByDesign into another system. So let me go ahead and we'll get started here. I'm going to go to my first slide. I'll just introduce ZipLingo as a company. We've been around since 2008. We actually, the very first company we ever started doing communication technology for was a company called Mona V, which is when we got our start. And since then, we've been building our platform, adding more things to it to try and increase its effectiveness. Essentially, what we've done is we've built a platform that allows you to access real-time data from your back office. So instead of trying to go and export data out of your existing ByDesign system and then import it into something like MailChimp or Constant Contact or one of these other solutions that are out there, we're basically allowing you to leverage the data that's sitting there real time. So anytime anything happens within your back office, those actual events or triggers can fire off messages automatically and basically automate a majority of your communication. So the whole question is, are you using the right technology today? Are you being able to leverage real-time communication? And that's what we want to kind of explore today as we go into this. All right, so to begin with, what I'm going to present to you is really one powerful messaging platform specifically built for direct sales. We don't do anything outside of the industry. We are specifically focused on working with direct selling organizations and helping empower them to communicate more effectively using our solution. I'm going to bring over the platform so that everyone can see the actual dashboard. This is an existing customer of ByDesign's called New You Life. We're not going to go in and show any of their proprietary information, but I am going to use this to try and help you understand how the platform works. The very first thing I want to touch on and make sure is very clear is that we have spent a lot of time and a lot of money integrating our platform into ByDesign. This allows you to access all of your ByDesign data through our platform for messaging. So when I say all of your data, I'm talking about all the contact information. I'm talking about the merge field data, where you can actually put in certain types of content into messages to really personalize and make the message very effective. So anything that is existing today in ByDesign, any of your triggers, any of your AR templates, all of those types of things are available within the seamless integration that we've done. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands and is clear that this is already integrated. You're not going to pay us for an integration. And really, that's kind of the problem that we're solving as an organization is we've gone in and done all the heavy lifting to create a system that is fully integrated with your data so that all you have to do is pay a monthly SaaS fee to be able to leverage and utilize that information. Now, there's two types of messages that you're going to be sending, right? Number one, automated messages. That's probably the most popular type of messaging, right? These are pre-written messages that someone on your team's already got campaigns or templates built for. And these are messages that are going to be based off of predefined triggers or actions. So this is where I bring up the AR templates, the automated responders that ByDesign has. Anytime someone does anything within your back office, that can actually cause us to get a signal in our platform and trigger a message to go out immediately. You don't have to go in and know when to send this or go pull a report and try to time something. This happens instantly. So a perfect example of this is someone rank advances, someone signs up a new rep, there's a brand new enrollment. Not only do you want to send a message to the person that enrolled, and that might be a drip campaign that you send over time, but you also want to let their upline or their sponsor know what's happened to make sure someone reaches out to that new enrollment and actually helps them along and coaches them. So the ability to send not only one message based on some event or activity, but send multiple messages to multiple groups and people to make sure that everyone's on the same page. When it comes to automated messages, if I go under our system here, our builder, we have what are called triggers. And this is where that marketing automation really comes into play. So ZipLingo has developed a bunch of different triggers that you can see in here as some examples. So we can tie in directly to those events that are happening in ByDesign, or we can actually go in and grab and leverage your autoresponder. So if you guys are in your back office in the admin portal of ByDesign, you have under, I believe it's the tools button, you have a little area called AR templates. And so let me show you where those AR templates have been mapped to. So here's an example of New You Life's AR templates. So these are all the AR templates. They have 286 ARs that exist today in ByDesign. These act as triggers. These will automatically send a message out based upon a specific event. You see here, there's like a birthday or an anniversary notice. Again, you all have your own, you know what they are, but we can use and leverage these as the trigger to send out your automated messages. So imagine being able to go into our builder, build out whatever custom template you would like to build, add all the personalization, and then basically tell our system to listen to that AR template. And when that AR template triggers, have that message go out immediately. So that's essentially how this is set up to work each day. And really, it's going to automate the majority of your communication, so you're not wasting time or spending time doing that. Another type of message that people send out, and you send them out quite often, are one-off messages that you've gone out and kind of created right before you send them out. Typically, you're going to send this to a contact in regards to an announcement, or maybe it's some type of a promotional campaign. So you want to be able to have access to create a group to be able to send this message to. And obviously right now, if you were using some other platform or some other solution, you would have to go out and run a report in Freedom, configure it all, get it all ready, and then export that data out of Freedom and import it into the other system that you're using right now. So all we're trying to do is help remove that step. So what I would be able to do in this scenario is I could come in and I can click on these filters, and I can actually segment the data right now on my own. So I could go in and say, hey, I want to pull a list of everyone that lives in this area, that's this rank or this associate type or status or language. There's all sorts of filters in here that I can go in and basically click on to create and pull together that specific segmented group. Once I pull the group together, I can create the group, and I'll just show you an example here of groups. So these are just different groups that have been created by New You Life, and these groups will sit in our platform, and these groups are always updated automatically. So if someone gets added to the group or subtracted from the group based upon any activities that they participate in or things that they do, such as rank advancement or volumes or whatever that is, it'll actually update that group on the fly. So because these groups are all created through the APIs, they're always going to be up to date when you go in and send a message to that group. So again, no more worrying about hassling with creating groups, exporting them, trying to put them somewhere else. This will keep that group created, always up to date. So anytime you want to go in and send a message, you literally just build the message and click the send button, and it goes off. Something else to address here is what we call data validation. So if I go back to where I just was, I have this little data validation section here. So one thing that we're concerned about with our clients is making sure that you're not sending messages out to someone that doesn't have a working contact number or a working email address. Obviously, if you try to send those messages through certain platforms, they'll charge you for that message. And so what we're doing is we're helping you basically know how good your data is and if it needs to be cleaned up. So in this example, there's over 607,000 valid emails in this particular connection that we have with New You. But if I look here, there's 188,000 that are bad. So we want to make sure when you're sending a message that we strip out all the bad stuff and never pass that on. But at the same time, our team will work with you to help clean up that data. And there's multiple campaigns that can be run. There's things you can do with ByDesign in the back office. When someone logs in, it pops up a message to have them update their contact information. So there's a lot of cool things you can do there to try and clean this information up. The reason why I bring that up is because the ZipLingo messaging platform has been built to allow you to send messages through any channel that you really choose. So we call this an omni-channel type approach. You can send messages obviously through email, but you can also send messages through a text, like an SMS message or an MMS message. You could send it through some of the popular third-party messaging apps like Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Line, Telegram. You know, you've got all these different ones that are out there. And it really depends on where your audience is located. So if you have audience outside of the US in certain countries, some of these third-party, communication apps are a more popular way to deliver a message. The bottom line is you want to send a message to where your customers and or distributors are, where they're going to see it, receive it, and be able to respond to it. So our team is very able to help you with that, to help you help suggest some of the channels that you should be leveraging if you're not today. Another thing that we're doing a lot of is we're helping communicate into your custom app as well. We've done a number of integrations where some of the popular mobile apps that are being used for prospecting within the direct selling channel, we've integrated to those to allow you to have the ability to also deliver messages to those apps as well inside of like a push notification or as a push notification on the phone. So just want to make sure that you know that you can leverage really any channel that you would like to communicate through, depending on where your distributors and or customers live or communicate. So having said all this, one thing I want to make clear is that you really, with ZipLingo, you have the ability to consolidate all of your systems, communication systems or solutions into really one. Let me give you an example. MailChimp, we would be able to replace that, no problem. A Constant Contact or any equivalent of that, ZipLingo can replace. If you're using some type of an SMS provider to send out a message like a Simple Texting or Twilio or someone like that, ZipLingo allows you to be able to send all your messages through SMS if you choose. Something else that's real popular right now is Klaviyo. If you guys have heard of Klaviyo, it's an e-commerce platform or solution to help with basically when someone comes to your website and does something like they go and put items in their shopping cart and then abandon, we actually already have a trigger with ByDesign that's set up to do that. We also have the ability to track what's happening. So we can track clicks on any of our links. So anything you put in any of the messages with ZipLingo, we will track the clicks, we'll track the pages they visit, we'll track whether or not they put items in their cart and abandoned, and we have a trigger that you can fire an automated message to them. But we'll even go as far as tracking all of your orders. So if you were to send out a promotional message today to 10,000 people, we can tell you exactly what the clicks looked like, what the page views were, how many abandoned cart, and most importantly, how many orders did you generate off of that message, and how much revenue did that actually create for your company. So again, if you want to be able to send out a message and to have all of that information, all those analytics, that's something that ZipLingo now has access to. This is something that we've been working really hard on with ByDesign, and actually just recently finished this integration. So this integrates with your ByDesign front end, your e-commerce side website. So we can talk further about that if you have questions, but just want to make sure everyone understands that that is available and is a really, really great option if you're trying to track what's going on with those campaigns. All right, so next, what I want to do is just take you through kind of a quick overview of what it would look like to send a message. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to click on a builder, which is going to show my campaigns. And it's as simple as clicking the plus sign to create a campaign. For this example, we'll just say test. We can choose the type of campaign. I can do a blast, which is one message that goes out, or I could do a drip campaign where I send out a message today and then some type of a time interval in between, then I send another message out. That might be a great strategy for your new enrollees. If a new enrollment happens, you might want to drip out content to them for the first 30 days. So that's an example of why you might want to use a drip campaign. For this example, I'll choose blast. And then I can choose different types of messaging. You'll notice there's a lot of different ones in here. They've even got a verb. So this company must use the Verb mobile app. But being able to communicate through all of those channels is a great example of what this system can provide for you as a customer. And then event type, I could send out a manual message similar to the ones we talked about earlier, or I could tie it to an existing trigger or even one of the AR triggers. So if I want to tie it to a ByDesign AR trigger, I come into the system, I find the AR trigger that I want to tie it to, right? Maybe it's a rep order. And now I'm actually tying that message to a specific event. So anytime a rep orders something, this will generate a message to that rep. Now, even though this says email the rep, it doesn't matter. I can send it through any of the channels, but the trigger on the ByDesign side will send us a message saying, hey, a new rep just placed an order. So now I hit next, and now I can go in and create a custom campaign. And you'll notice up top here, I have the ability to use a number of different editors. So for email, I have an email editor. We have the ability for you to go and add an email template. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to grab an email template. We'll just grab something standard here. Let's see. Here's the power, though. Not only can I easily build a marketing campaign to maximize engagement, increase revenue, all that kind of stuff, but I also have the ability to basically hyper-personalize my messages. So I can come in here where there's any text, and I can choose to insert merge fields from the ByDesign database. So each one of these messages allows me to go and grab fields from the back office and plug those fields straight in to this particular campaign. So any of the fields that I click on, whether it's associate information, web alias, there's all sorts of those types of things that I can click on. It'll drop that content and that information into the message. So imagine really being able to leverage a number of different merge fields from ByDesign to customize and personalize each message. And what I really like about this is you can't do all of this type of stuff in your MailChimp or in your contact unless you go in and drop in, export a ton of fields and drop them into their system, which again just takes more time and effort. So once I customize my email template, and by the way, I can come over here and I can edit any part of this. I can pull stuff out. I can add new stuff, new pictures. We have the ability to really allow you to customize any part of the email. I've got all sorts of functionality over here on the right. I can drop in videos, icons, GIFs, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff. So again, I've seen some incredible email templates come out of this, and I'll give you an example of one here in a minute. You can also do everything with languages. So if you guys want to insert different languages, if you're global and you're operating around the world, you have the ability to go in and be able to do that as well. Once I have customized my email, and I can put in whatever preview email information I want to show up in their Outlook or email account. I can put in a subject. I can even customize the subject here. So I can throw in some of those fields from ByDesign into the subject to make that subject more personalized. But again, real simple, real easy to create it. Next, what I want to show you is the editor SMS. So at the same exact time, I could type a message here, and this message will go out into someone's phone as a text message or an MMS. An MMS allows you to basically input media. So if I wanted to drop in some specific media, content, an image, I have the ability to go in and grab some of that information. I think this one has like an image of some products. You guys might not be able to see it very well, but again, I can insert whatever media or content I want. What we've seen a lot of companies do is they'll create their nice email, and then they'll basically get a picture of that email and import it for the media, and they'll send that same email as a MMS, and it shows up on the phone. It looks really good. They can scroll in and look at it. So it provides a similar experience as well. Something else that I didn't mention here, even though you can see it along the bottom, is I can do all the link tracking in here. So I have the ability to really kind of customize and add whatever I want to these messages. Last but definitely not least, if I have a mobile app that my company's using, I can also go in and basically send the same exact type of message or content to that mobile app. So really what we're trying to do is, today in the market, or the industry you're in, communication is very fragmented globally. People are using all sorts of systems to communicate. And what we're trying to do is allow a company to be able to have one platform to build a message and to be able to send it out to any of those different channels that they want to, so that you can essentially not have to use multiple companies and multiple channels to do that. Something else to mention, we use tier 1 delivery networks. So we've built the platform and all the technology, we've integrated it with ByDesign, but when it comes to delivery, we want to make sure that every message is delivered at the highest possible percentage. And so we use companies like SendGrid, like Mailgun, InfoBip. These are some of the tier 1 aggregators for email, as an example. We use for SMS companies like Twilio, Kalera. InfoBip also does SMS. We also use Bandwidth. So we have a great ability to reach anywhere, including international SMS capabilities, if you'd like to communicate globally. We even have customers right now that we're working with where we've been able to negotiate in-country SMS rates. So instead of paying those high rates that you might pay to send a message to some international location, because you might be operating there and have maybe a license or a corporation set up in that country, we can actually work to help you get in-country pricing to really reduce those rates. So I want to make sure that that's clear and understood. Last but definitely not least, and then I'd like to turn the time over to Marion from Jordan Essentials for a testimonial. You have the ability to track all of your messages. So under this recent sent button here, I can go in and I can actually look at all of my delivery rates. I can see the message itself. So here's an example of some of that international messaging, where in this case, obviously everything's in a different language. But I can see all of my reporting. I can see how many were undeliverable, simply because the data that we have in or the data they have in their database is not accurate. So we didn't even try to send that message, which is important. You can see here's another language, different message, but the ability to track your clicks, your bounces, your opens, your replies. People can reply to all these messages. You can look at those replies in our system, or you can have us forward those replies to a Zendesk or some other, like a Freshdesk customer service portal where your team internally can handle that. But again, I want to make sure everyone understands that we have access to all the data reporting. All of these can be exported. So I can come in here and export any of these reports. If I were to click on clicks here, I've got a little button here to download this CSV so I can actually see who did what. The last thing that I want to mention is any of these messages that have been sent to any of these people, if I were to click on that person, I actually have almost a mini CRM of this person. I can see all of their contact information. I can see all of their back office information, like their web alias, their back office ID, enroller ID, associate ID, which is really nice. I can also see their communication preferences. So we're going to map their preferences based upon what they're set up as on the ByDesign system. So I can see what people have opted in for and not opted in for to make sure we're managing that for you. But most importantly, I can see the history. So I can actually go and see who's been sent what message. I can resend them a message. I can see if they've replied to a message. So it's really kind of more of a CRM-esque platform to allow me to go in and see that information, add notes to that information. So if you've got directors of sales that are dealing with the field and want to come in here and be able to leverage this. They could create even groups for leaders that they can communicate with and really have the ability to reach out to everyone in a meaningful way, and then keep notes on all of those people. So with that being said, I'm going to now turn the time over to Marion Smith. Again, I mentioned earlier, and I appreciate her being here today. She's the Director of Sales and Communications for Jordan Essentials. They've been using the platform for quite some time, and so I wanted to have someone give a live testimonial about what we've been doing for them. And so with that being said, Marion, turn the time over.
Thank you. Matt did a great job sharing all of the features and the pieces that we really enjoy using with ZipLingo. We were one of those companies that had the multiple systems that we were trying to communicate with our field. We had the MailChimp, we had the Constant Contact, and it was this battle of exporting and importing and updating lists all the time. And having it integrated with ZipLingo really saves that time, especially on our consultant side, where we don't have to worry about updating that list every time we want to send out an email. We have the updated current list. We're not missing people. And that's so important. When you have new consultants join, we call them Jordies. When they join, we want to make sure they're getting the news. We send a consultant news twice a week. So we want to make sure if a new person comes in on Thursday, that when Friday's email goes out, that they're on that list. We don't have to worry about downloading it and importing it. We have that instant communication. So that was a big time saver for us. And having that history is really important too, because when we do send out, we send out coupon codes and things, we know that the consultant, that it was sent out. We can go back in and verify they've received it. We also have used it for our leadership groups so that we can segment out, just like you said, based on title, that certain titles will get a certain email. So again, we don't have to grab a list. We can do it right from inside of ZipLingo and then have that history built in to be able to see that they've received it. And just being able to look at open rates and comparing things as simple as a subject line. What gets more open rates if a subject line has this or if a subject line has that. So those are things that we don't always think about, but having them built in really gives us that freedom to be able to do it. Another really great feature for us was implementing the text. We weren't using text reminders before, any text messages, and we saw huge changes when we started implementing those. We do it both on the triggers. So when a new consultant joins, they're getting a text. Their upline is getting a text. So right away, you know someone's joined your team, and they can do that kind of that instant follow-up and welcome someone. And I think we really see it with direct sales. People want to be connected. They've done this. They need to know they have that support. And when that leader gets that notification, they can be right there as that backup. We also use the text messages, was a real eye-opener for us when we send them out as reminders for our trainings. We kind of, I don't know, maybe we were naive in thinking that consultants wrote down trainings on their calendar and would like show up. And when we did the text reminders, we doubled our attendance on our training nights. And it was just that simple reminder that, oh yeah, in a half hour, I need to, tune into this training. And when your people are trained and they feel, again, that connection, you instantly are going to start seeing the sales increase as well. So it was just kind of that double there for us, having a better field training, and then that leads to the sales that helped as well. And so we utilize a lot of the text messaging now because people were living on our phones and we're busy. We need those reminders. And it's just been an all-around positive for us corporately and as the staff, is time saving, but also really embracing our field to help them be much more successful. So I think, are there some other points to touch on there, Matt, that we wanted to?
Oh, I think that's great. I really appreciate you sharing those, the feedback and thoughts. I know we've spent, how long have you guys been using the product now?
How long? I want to say about 2 years.
Up to years
And
now.
I have to say, we're just scratching the surface. Every time we see a new feature, we're like, we can't wait to get in and start implementing that, because it's a time saver. So that's money saved corporately, but then it helps with the sales. So that's growing our field force as well. So and having it come consistently from the same place has helped our field as well. They know what to expect, and they can look forward to getting the reminders. They can look forward to their emails. They know how they're coming and when they're coming. So that's been a big positive as well.
Excellent. I think Lance Leonard had a question. Lance, I don't know if you can unmute yourself or if I need to unmute you.
Okay,
There
I
we
think
go.
I'm unmuted now. Thanks. Yeah, a couple questions. So can we build messaging in another platform and then just dump it into your platform? Like, let's say someone wants to work in something like Canva and then drop it in. Is that possible, or do we need to just use your templates and your platform to build everything?
That's a great question, Lance. Thank you. So what I would recommend is I probably would have you work with one of our, I'll probably get back to you on that. I know if you have HTML, we can import existing content into the system. You could import it as well. So if you had HTML already designed and ready to go, there's a place within the editors where you can actually just drop it in and it'll look and feel the same as whatever you've designed. So I'm not for sure what is Canva in HTML. I'm not for sure what their
no, it's just really a design platform.
Canva.
Okay.
Yeah, our
Okay,
graphics
so you're doing that
people use
already.
Canva, and they put it in there as well.
Great.
From the images, and also she does some HTML.
Great.
And then we're also able to do the linking right in there. Their builder is user-friendly and powerful. I'm really surprised at all the flexibility we have with it, and it's still easy to use. You have, like Matt was showing, you can expand that screen so you can get in there and really build a really nice looking email in there, and you don't have to have a ton of graphic experience, because I put together our news and I'm not a graphics designer, but you have all of those tools. You just click on the little buttons there and you can drop in images, you can drop in videos, it drops in the dividers and everything, so it looks really nice. We include our videos in there as well, so you can include links to YouTube and Vimeo. So when we do our launch for the beginning of the month, this has been a huge plus for us as well. When we launch each month, Nancy, our CEO, goes live, and then we download that and we grab that video and we just put it right in the email. So when we send that out, our field sees the exact same video that she just did live. And it's very simple, very seamless, and everybody gets the same information really quickly. So that's a big plus for us.
Great.
Thank you,
I've
Marianne.
got just a couple more questions. That's really good news, because I'm just thinking in terms of keeping our social media person happy. But but another question is, can I make my own triggers? And maybe this is partly a ByDesign question too. But can we design a trigger that maybe doesn't exist currently? Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
Cassie,
So
I
the
don't know
way
if you know
we've
the
done
answer to that.
Yeah, Cassie, do you want to chime in on that?
Yeah.
Cassie, that's fine. I know we've done it before with other clients, but I'll let if Cassie wants to chime in.
Yeah, so what we've done with the integration thus far is basically every single trigger that you have an AR for in our back office, you can choose to, our existing platform let you choose to send it as an alert or as an email. We now added the option to put a webhook. So for any of those hundreds of ARs you've got in there, you can now send them over to ZipLingo instead. And that also includes, one of the ARs is the bonus qualification. So if you're not familiar with that, you choose the AR type of bonus qualification. That opens up any of the agents from your comp plan. So if anybody meets any of those, if there's a minimum PCV, you want them to hit a minimum level 1 volume. When they, meet any of those criteria, those can all be triggers that are sent to ZipLingo. That said, we are adding more and more triggers, and a lot of it comes from the requests from existing clients. Like, for example, Marion, I know when Jordan Essentials first started using the ZipLingo integration, she came back to us and asked for additional triggers, additional filters, and we were able to do that for her at no expense to them. So that's also the beauty of this partnership that we have. You know, our team meets with Matt regularly on a weekly basis just to talk about where are the gaps, what are we hearing from our mutual clients, what is needed. And I know in the beginning, Marion even sat in on a lot of those conversations to help us understand what she wanted to do to make the platform even better with ByDesign. So the short answer is everything that's already in as an AR, you can use as a trigger. There's also things outside of the AR that you can use. For example, we have webhooks for the lead system. So any new lead that's created with when the lead is edited, the rep status, rep edits, sponsorship changes. Those are all things that we don't necessarily have ARs for, but we have the data trigger and the webhook out to ZipLingo for.
Okay, great. We can talk
Perfect.
more specifics later rather than spending time on that now, but that's good news. Just two more quick ones. I don't mean to dominate too much here, but one is there a way to, like, on the one-off messaging, is there a way to have like standard messages that we can use over and over again for, like, just let's say we want to communicate something to somebody, we communicating the same thing individually, but to a number of people, like on a regular basis? Can we just kind of store
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean,
kind of pre-written messages that we just customize a tiny bit, like by dropping their name in and maybe a little personal note, and then just send it out like that? Is that kind of thing possible?
yes, yes. Yeah, you have the ability to go in and copy any message that you've ever sent out. So it's kind of like a copy paste. So you could go into a previous message that was like that, copy paste it, and then edit it the way you want and send it out again. So that's simple and easy. That's already the capability is already there.
Okay, but it's not like there's a section where we can have like, oh, these are the 6 ones that we do like all the time. It would just be a matter of finding one like that in what was already sent.
No, you can create templates and have them pre-stored on the platform, so you could go back to those and do that. So that is possible as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And my last
piggyback
one is,
on
what
that,
about
Lance.
people who opt out?
Great question. So anyone,
Pardon?
yeah, anyone that opts out will be removed from your list automatically. So if it's an email, they'll unsubscribe. If it's a mobile message, they'll reply stop to opt out. So yeah, we track all of that in our system and remove them immediately when any of them opt out.
Great. Thank you very much.
Transactional and marketing. So they can opt out of marketing, but still be in transactional.
That's a great point, Marion. You want to say that one more time?
Great.
So there's 2 options when you send messages or emails. They can be under marketing or they can be under transactional. So maybe your person doesn't want the marketing emails, so they wouldn't get those. They can opt out, but they still need to get their transactional. So when they place an order and you confirm, you send them a text or an email to confirm it, they're still going to get that message, but they won't get like your marketing messages. So we divide ours up that way so they can opt out of emails, but still get the tracking information on an order.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Does that make sense, Lance?
Yep, and I just wanted to piggyback on that. We do also have those opt-in options built into our system as well. So your reps can go into Revolution and opt in and out of the ZipLingo messaging. Customers can do it from their account in the cart. So they can either respond to the messages they're getting from ZipLingo, or they can manage those preferences within our system. And of course, we're communicating that with ZipLingo behind the scenes. A very deep integration with this partnership.
Yeah, a couple years in the making. Are there any other questions that we can answer? Anyone else? Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone again for participating. Thanks again to ByDesign for helping put this all together. And Marion, thank you, Marion Smith, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts and feelings about our platform. Appreciate everyone attending. And I'm going to go ahead and I will, I've recorded this, so I'll send it out to everyone so that you have a copy of it if you want to show anyone else within your company. And feel free to reach out to us with any questions. You can go on ZipLingo.com and you can schedule a demo with our team, and we'd be happy to take you through and answer any further questions that you might have. Thanks again. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.